John Adams said, "You'll never know what it cost my generation for your freedom. I hope you use it wisely." Well, I don't think we've been using it wisely. I think we've been squandering it. And this is thoughts while thinking, and these opinions are mine. And Cena said, "He who is brave is free." Well, we got to get back to being brave enough to be free, because over the past 100 years or so, we've just let it slide and get away from us. And our forefathers fought for future generations so we could celebrate this day on the 4th of July by getting drunk and setting off fireworks. Well, I don't believe that's the way they intended it, but that's what it's boiled down to over the past 100 years or so. We just got so complacent that we don't pay any attention to the freedom. And our constitutional government has changed from freedom, won't never be restored and it'll be lost forever. So we've got to watch our constitution. They've been getting away for a little bit at a time, and the freedom is lost gradually from uninterested, uninformed, and uninvolved people. That's what Thomas Jefferson said, and that's what we've had over the past 100 years. We've just been eating the ice cream they've been promising, that's all. And we got to get back, and we don't want to lose our freedom forever. We don't want it forever to be lost. We want it to be free and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And those who have known freedom and lost it will never know it again. Well, I can tell you, I'll never know those freedoms that I had when I was a lot younger, because we don't have them, and we're going to have to fight to get them back, and we don't want them lost forever, and we want to get back to our constitutional government. And our government was set up to protect our freedom, but over the years it's become a hideous political toy that's used to redistribute your wealth and control most aspects of your business and private life. Well, that is fascism, and we got to get out of that. We got to get back to capitalism and free enterprise and freedom. And our freedom is often lost in small increments, and we can look at it over the past 100 years because that's the way we've lost it, a little bit at a time, just a little bit every time Congress meets it, evidently. And the only way we can keep our freedom is to work at it. Not some of us, but all of us, and not some of the time, but all of the time. We got to work at it. Freedom is hard. It's hard to keep because it just slips away. And we can regain our freedom. Even in the Bible, it says we can regain our freedom. And if we don't let the Constitution completely erode away, we can get our freedoms back and get out from under this communist paradise cloud that's been hovering over us, because communism is not a paradise, it's a hell. And we don't want to march in lockstep with those Marxist dummies. We want to be free to go about our business as we please. And, this cartoon is a little extreme, but it's probably closer to the truth than anything else. He can't find his car keys. He don't know what pocket it's in, so he calls the government, and the government tells him. Well, with big tech and the government spying on us, that's probably pretty well close to being true. And we don't want to have to tell our grandkids that we once had a free country, and that's what those fireworks are about. Is we had a free country at one time, but we don't have it anymore. We got to move forward. And our Uncle Sam, we just got a spending hangover. Our debt is just out of sight. It's plumb out of sight. It never was happened to be this big. And they're trying to tell you the little hair of the dog that bit you will cure the problem. So they keep spending to help lower the national debt, and it gets bigger. Figure that. I don't understand that. But that's the way it's working right now. And we once said life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and give me liberty or give me death. And now then we just said, give me whatever the special interests want me to have. And I don't like that. And that's the way it looks like it's been. And I think it all started when the government took over our school system and started telling teachers what they could teach and what they could think. And and listen to the National Teachers Union, and we got to get back to local schools, and we don't want to be a puppet and controlled by outside things and the people, money, and past experiences. We're going to have to make our own experiences and move forward and take those steps to get our freedom back. And actions always prove that while words are meaningless, and those words in the Constitution are meaningless unless we act to protect them and exercise them. And maybe it's time that we have to break some rules to get back to freedom, and that they've taken away unconstitutionally. Maybe we've got to be our own hero, and we got to get back to freedom, and that's the supremacy of the human rights is freedom, and we want freedom for everybody in the world, especially here in this country where we live. We want that freedom, and we don't have to quit writing in our book because we had one bad chapter. We got to move on from that bad chapter into good. In the last 3 or 4 years of bad chapter, we got to recover. We got to regroup, and we anybody can make mistakes, but the ones that persist in it is an idiot, and we don't want to be idiots and keep persisting in our era. But that's what we've been doing, so we got to get out of that. And the guy that doesn't have any enemies and doesn't have any courage to make any, he doesn't have any freedom of thoughts. Because if you think and you think you're going to disagree with somebody and you're going to have an enemy, and we got to get back to creating some enemies because we think, because we can't be just progressing there with loving everybody and not having any enemies, because that's how we got to where we are now. And because people get offended so easy, we don't want to offend anybody. Well, we got to start thinking, and when we think we're going to offend somebody. And people throw stones at you, don't throw them back, collect them and build your empire. And that's what we got to do. We got to build on those. And either way, we'll find a way or we'll make one. That's the way we are. We're strong people, and we make that way. And we won't let what we can't do interfere with what we can do. We'll take it a little bit at a time. Each one of us has a different goal and different talents, and we'll go for it. And sometimes we have to be our own hero, and we're going to have a whole lot of heroes out there, because most people's egos are so big that they can't possibly think that they've been fooled, and they've been fooled over the past 100 years or so. And instead of being ashamed of what we've gone through, we ought to be proud from what we overcome, because we're going to overcome this socialism and communism. And it's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you're not that holds you back. Now, that's worth some thoughts while thinking. We got to think about who we are. And we know that we're strong, and when we know we're strong, we know our weaknesses. And when we're beautiful, we appreciate our falls. And when we're wise, we learn from our mistakes, and we're going to learn from those mistakes, those in particular in the last 4 or 5 years, because they've been tearing us up. And we got to respect ourselves and guide our morals, and respect and guide our manners to protect ourselves and the other people. And we got to pursue it. We can't be afraid to go for our dreams, because our dreams are freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We got to have those, and we got to be an encourager, and we got to get rid of critical, being a critic, because the world's got enough of those right now. We want to be an encourager and get rid of all this lost freedoms and get our liberties back. And the old Indian, he says, listen to the wind, it talks. Listen to the silence, it speaks. And listen to your heart, it knows. And you know in your heart that we've been down a tough road, and we got to work hard to get our freedoms back. And as we get older, our eyesight starts getting weaker, but our abilities to see through people's bullshit gets better. And it gets better every day because we're seeing all that. And every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. So we got to look at the good and build on the good and make it work for us. And the difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way we use them. We got to throw all those stumbling blocks down and walk on them and make it better. We got to get better and use them right. And we thank you for watching. And well, we hope you like this video, and we hope you subscribe. And this is Thoughts While Thinking. And adios, amigos, and we'll see you on the flip side.